Hey, everybody. So, finally getting around to finishing the vendor system, which is kind of the last annoying user interface hurdle I've got. And I keep putting it off because I just can't stand user interface junk. Oop, no, we don't need to say that. To keep going and, fiddling with other things and tweaking other things, and I'm like, just we're gonna do it today. We're gonna do it today. What is it? There we go. Try Art Trek. Thanks for that follow. Welcome to the Barbarian Horde. Much appreciated. Let's see. I'm just rearranging my workspace a little bit. Okay. Make sure I'm clocking myself. Alrighty. Looks like a retro art style scheme. It is, yeah. It is all pixel art stuff. And a 3D Mode 7-ish world map. Which looks like something that you'd see on like Super Nintendo. Alright, let me go back down to my vendor user interface. We're getting there. We are getting there. Okay, and what was I doing? Making sure the tabs work in the vendor system. So those are, I'm gonna make sure I'm in the right script. Inventory tabs, yes, that's what we want. I need to get the fields for these. How am I measuring them again? I need to double check that. Just pick a big, stupid, ugly color. So that's... wait, what? Why is the info in... Is that in inches? Oh, man. I want pixels, not inches. I think that's in inches. Oh, you know what it was? I think it was because I was designing a banner and I needed to know inches. And I don't think I switched it back. Now I gotta try to remember how I did that. Preferences. Tools, units and rulers, pixels. There we go. Okay, that wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. It's hard to see that against the... There we go. That's better. So where is that? That's 111 by 43. Oh, we're eliminating all of this around the thing. So let's do that. $25 and $43, is that accurate? Yes! We have go. Also check. Tangle. Margin. Oop. Mouse is tab equals 2. I'm just going to comment these so I can keep track. Items. Weapons. Armor. Keys. Now, I was going to get fancy and eliminate tabs that didn't pertain to a particular vendor, but that could get messy. So what I'm going to do instead is if they don't have anything, tab blackout in the category that you're looking at, I am going to maybe keep it confined to this and ignore the borders. Go ahead and do something like this. Maybe make it darker though. So that's like pretty obvious that they don't have a, maybe even black. So it's obvious they don't have anything in that category. And thus you cannot click on that tab or move to that tab, navigate to it in any way. But for now, let's turn that off. Go ahead and put these over here as well. In tab 3 or 2 rather, 0, 1, 2. 44 and 58. $58. Achievement, so many pixels. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could do some achievement hunting while working. And also, how's it going, Snowshoe? Okay. So that's... Makeup achievement. Yes, I go. You achieved the I don't know what I'm doing ending. 63 and 77. 63 and 77. It's good so far. Allergies don't seem to be as bad as they were yesterday. So that's a plus. Zero, 1, 2. Make sure I do that. 3. Now we'll check for the buy and sell tab. Yeah, the rain is always a nice break. Scrubs the air out. It's always a nice thing. I can always tell a difference especially if it's a hard rain. I think this is buy. I'll double check though. Five. Sell. Buy, sell. Yeah. Blech. I think these are just generally bigger. So I gotta get all the coordinates for these. 137 and 42. 137. 42. 172 and 55. 172 and 55. What was I gonna say? Oh, working on user interface stuff, which is already not my favoriteest thing to do. And all I want to do is play the the new Dark Souls 3 DLC. I played a little tiny bit of it last night. But it was on a character that was on New Game Plus. So I don't think my build for him was the best to go into like crazy endgame content. That would be fun to stream Dark Souls. It'd probably have to be from the beginning of the game, though. Because, like I said, my character's not really... Which, I don't care. I like the whole thing, so... Okay, so the Y stuff is the same. It'd be super... Oh, wait, no. Yeah. Enabler. Filthy enabler. Ah, there it is. Can I get... Yeah. I don't know if the mic picked that up, but... That's some snap, crackle, pop waiting to happen. Okay, so those are the Ys. And I need 177 and 212. 177 and 212. It's Arnold. Yeah. Ow. Alright. Buy, sell. Okay, I think those are good. Probably. Now we have to actually let's see. Mouse is tab. 0 items. Weapons. Oops. Not question marks. Weapons. Armor. Keys. Well, if it ain't Jackal. Going good, man. How are you doing? As cat is to caps lock. Cat is to headache. Now what? Items, weapons, armor, key. I need to make sure that I have those initialized. Items, weapons, armor, key. Okay, I do. That is to satisfy a draw BP script. I don't know that we're going to need that. Well, maybe we might. Boom. 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 Boo-ba-doo. Alright, let's see here. Money owed. Or do I already have a thing for that? Equipping the vendor mode is either buy or sell. Money owed equals 0. Your tab. What you running up your tab in the shop? I'm a good ways in. Past the point of no return for sure. I estimate a matter of months now. And I'm doing my damnedest to get it out this year. Money owed equals 0. We need to reset a few things here when we switch over. Like that. Actually, this is a default thing, so it doesn't matter. Oh, I already have it set. Never mind. Never mind. Just kidding. Already did that. Just put that in there. Check. Right? Thanks, me. Yeah, if I did a good job. Okay, vendor mode. Buy mode. Which is what we're focusing on right now. Okay. So those are not going to be in there. Let me clear that out to make it make a little more sense for me visually. Here. All right. Oh yeah, you're gonna do the Ludum. Whole lot of messing around. Are you using Studio 2 now, or vanilla flavored Studio? He feels clunky. Yeah, probably because maybe you're not used to it yet. I liked the workflow in 2, based on what I very briefly played around with. But yeah, obviously I'm way more used to 1. I have to look at it again. I haven't actually opened it up in quite some time. So there'll be a coin spinning here, and how much the thing costs right there. For everything, I think I'm gonna include whether or not you have mastered it, so you know when you're shopping, you can remember whether or not you've mastered the thing that you want to buy. Buying weapons and armor will be pretty straightforward, but buying consumables is going to be a little different. Center's only one window. Okay. I have to look at that again, because I don't remember. We do not weigh Mendel. And we'll have the damage type here. I do want a comparison thing. Like if you want to see what damage the thing does. That's how much money you have. I might move that over to the right and then have weapon comparison stuff down here and armor and then everything. You're multi... yeah, me too. I mean, I've got, you know, all this crap open. Well, right now it's... my workspace is pretty tame, but yeah, I like to have... especially if I'm working on similar scripts and stuff, like I like to have like both of them open or 3 of them open at a time. So let's move. What is this? Okay, that's not that. Player coins. Yeah, and 2-screen workspace as well. Where does that come? Oh, there we go. Let's rasterize that. Info panel, call that. Let's go ahead and move this over to like later on there or something, or make it flush with the other coins too. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's a good idea. I don't know. We can set a bag and rummaging. Yeah, I can see that. I've gotta look at it again though. I don't quite remember. I mean, I remember being kind of. I mean, I liked the new room editor for sure. It had some much needed improvements. That over here ish, and then maybe I will move these over and put the quantity where the coins are. I wonder though if there's if you can't, you know, let's just say 100 for that. Now let's make it weirder. 732. I wonder if there's an option though to, you know, to not do that. Unreal Engine blueprints. Okay. I guess it doesn't bother me that much. Because I didn't really think about it when I was using it or trying it out. So this down here. Duplicate. Is that right though? I don't think that's that it. I guess. I want accurate representation of this stuff. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Changed cameras, like view and object following and stuff. I was not aware that they did that. I'll tell you one thing I'm bummed about is they axed most of the 3D functionality. So, as far as I know, I mean, it looked like they did. So I can't do the Mode 7 thing without, you know, writing my own 3D renderer. Okay, so they have some built-in 3D stuff still. Something like that. And then for consumables, all right. Yeah, for this is one of the functions. Matrix, build, projection, perspective. Very sure. Yeah, so they made it a lot more mathy, it looks like. This definitely looks a little less intuitive than. But I mean, you know, when I was initially using that stuff, I didn't know what the hell, how to do any of it, and I had to learn. So I will learn again. This I will learn once again. Meow, meow, meow. 44. Well, I think I want to keep them. so that when you're switching tabs and stuff, these things stay in the same places. So quantity over here for consumables. Regardless of consumable armor or weapons, you will always see this here, which is the mastered symbol, whether you have or have not maxed out the experience on that item. Code to effects and After Effects. Yeah, you can like script in there and stuff. So max will be 99 that you can carry. Is that in the right spot? Yeah. Cool. All right, and then arrows. Excuse me. Want nearest neighbor. So that is when you're going to want to, how much of the thing you're going to buy. Correct. So 2 digits long. I might change my mind later, but for now you can only hold 99 of anything. Because arbitrary reasons. But I might change that for consumables because it might be a pain in the ass to craft like a weapon that's kind of expensive material wise, and then do that and then not have enough for anything else if you're planning on. It all depends on how I ultimately finalize the balance for the crafting stuff. Crafting, it's not really crafting, it's, you know, like weapon, armor, and shield ascension. I mean, you start with a weapon, like a broken arming sword, and you can reforge it into a, you know, like a gladius, and the gladius can become something else as well. So that you start with a thing, and then, I mean, you could consider that like an ingredient, but then you take that base weapon and add in, like, you know, 10 ore and 15 hide or something, and then you get a new thing. Good for the rare items. Yeah. Yeah, it's all, you know, a balancing act. Literally and figuratively. Because you have to balance the the frequency that the material nodes appear, where they do in the world, how much things cost to craft, how much of it you can hold at a time, the materials. So there's a little bit of balancing that needs to be done there still, but for now, 99. At the very least, just to get this up and running and working and everything. Tomato potato. All right, real quick, I'm going to take a bio break and stretch, and then I shall return. Just thought about this in the video. Remind you of AVGN. Yeah, I'm a big fan of his, so I'm probably channeling him in there for sure. over the top and yeah, the glasses and general video game reaction stuff. What the hell? Music player crash? Damn it. Thanks, Snowshoe. It was fun to do. Damn it. Yeah, I think Music Bee crashed. Hold on. End task. It doesn't like my music. Everybody's a critic. I just thought of something. I want to get the character over to a vendor location so I can test this stuff. It's called Music Bee. And it's one of the more lightweight players that I've found. Since I'm doing so much other junk when I'm streaming. I used to use only Winamp, but I found Music Bee to just be a little faster. I haven't actually used Google Play. Oh. Dropping some frames there. It's intense. I mean, Music Bee does that too. I just don't have it. I'm not capturing it with OBS. Yeah, Chrome's not exactly optimized, sadly, because yeah, I mean, you can, apply your own album art to tracks and all that stuff. I don't know exactly how you would go about capturing it for OBS, but with Music Bee you can set it up however you want, and here's a like down there. This, for whatever reason, this is the album art that Music Bee grabbed for the Savage music. I guess it found the screen through like Google Images or something. Yeah, Winamp also does that. But I'm sure there's a tricky little way to make it do what you want. This compile is taking a long time. What else is new? And down here for comparison stuff, might as well fiddle around with this while the thing's compiling. Let's see. So for weapons, armor, and shield stuff, instead of quantity there, right? Yeah, it's the texture pages that always take forever. Even though I did a pre-compile too before streaming, but whatever. I got plenty of other stuff that I can do. Might have to move some stuff around here. Oh, there it goes. Gotta fight this dude in order to get where I'm trying to get. Oh crap, I'm fighting him with a broken sword. Come on. Yeah. Oh, I cut his head off too. Bonus. Broken sword and still GG. Yeah. Decapitation! Oh, you shot your friend. Hold my beer. I got this. Oh shit. Those guys both spawned with spikes on their helmets. Which makes them immune, or at least it will damage you if you try to stun stomp them. Damn it. I was trying to be fancy and parry that guy. Alright. I've got an invisible save checkpoint there, so. And this is who we're going to talk. I need to get rid of the. I need to tag this room as indoor so that we don't get that day-night overlay. This is starting to look crowded. I did, Jackal. And it broke a lot. It broke. Yeah. Just trying to think of how I'm gonna display some of this stuff. Because I got plenty of room down here, and I can show item specifics and junk. And that's your current, what the player currently is carrying in money. So I might put that down there and add some icons for this is better than what you have right now. And maybe even make a button for actual comparison so you can look at a separate window that shows like what you have and what you're going to buy. I might just move this down here. Oh, whoops. Keep things uniform. Grab this thing. might just do a color blend on it. Jump, 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 jump. Jump, 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 jump. Jump, 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 jump. Hey, Stacy, what's up, man? That might be a some feature that I didn't realize exists. I think if your friend, someone on your Twitch friends starts watching a stream that you're in, you're notified in the chat box. I guess. I mean, he might be lurking and stuff, so. Oops. I want to go full crazy green. Green arrow. James, hey man, long time no see. Yeah, it is. Thank you. It's a rough mix, just now, but okay, that's what's going on. So I still got to get in there and tweak some stuff, but functionally, it's done. Red arrow. Copyright. Thanks, man. The world of Savage is a busy and complicated, but good, and getting ever closer to completion. How's everything going with you? I haven't checked on your YouTube channel in quite some time, but I remember you were doing a lot of Unity tutorials and stuff. And I've watched quite a few of those because I've been interested in playing around with Unity and seeing what's all there. So for this will be given the context of what you're looking at. Shields, it will show resistance. Armor will show defense. Weapons will show damage. Some shields have damage as well. Like if shield has a spike on it. Yeah, did you finish Portal Knots? Or did that come out? Or thanks, man. I appreciate that. Buy, sell. Let's go ahead and copy this. I want to see what it looks like when it's and then duplicate again. I always forget. Okay. It crashed again. What the hell, man? Music B. You're not making me happy. Merge those. I guess not. Yeah. Haven't finished Portal Knots. Still turned out. Yeah. Annoying. Yeah, Portal Knots was looking cool. The demo was fun too. A lot of neat characters. Coin. Hey Lump, how's it going, man? There's Stacy. Or Warbird Games, I should say. How's it going, dude? The story of the game that was in development for 10 years. So it's I mean, regardless of time taken, as long as you have a good thing, a cool and good and well-made thing at the end, then I think it doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, even the the Owlboy guys, they had to take a break from Owlboy and do Savant. Wait, are we talking about my? I think we're talking about everybody's games here in chat. Games Plus James did a Kickstarter for a game he was working on called Portal Knots. No one really needs to. Yeah. I mean, it's always interesting to hear, but I mean, especially for me, because I'm a kind of a process junkie, but yeah, Savant's cool. I found the controls to be a little awkward, but visually it's awesome, and the music's really good too. Thanks, James. Escaping Westlawn. Christine Carstairs in particular. And her husband came over to my apartment and shot the thing. That's what that green screen is in the back. That's what that's from. Because I just picked up a... Now I get to reuse it, but I bought a bunch of crap on Amazon. Like a prop sword and barbarian wig and Halloween crap, and threw it all in that trailer. But yeah, she did the editing and the visual effects and all that stuff. Diver, hey, what's going on, man? Is he by chance holy? He's been down too long in the midnight sea. Party time. Oops. Diver is not down. Oh no. Oops. I'll keep my Dio to myself then. Unfortunately. Yeah, those sprites you were working on were cool looking, man. Mr. Diver. Maybe the kill switch version. No. You blaspheme. They might not know it. I think this is mostly... I want a current... I want to display like the current stat for whatever it is you're looking at. Yeah, you were working on some cool looking, I mean, they look like they looked like future cops or something. They looked like a combination of street judges and RoboCop and Cylons or something. Maybe if I move these over some. Like if I go... say our current damage is like 2 or something. Future. Okay, so you're doing art for a different project. A lab set in the jungle. That sounds cool. It sounds like flashback or something. Is what I'm seeing in my head anyway. And these will, I'll just kind of factor in the string length here, and these will be drawn over to the right. Thinking about like 50 things at once here. Can get rid of. Get rid of that. I am finishing the vendor user interface. So you can finally do something with all the damn coins that you collect in the game. There won't be too many vendors. There will only be like a handful, and they'll be spread out. And there's like a secret guy, but they need to be in there. So. Whoops. No. Oh, God damn it, Photoshop. You fucking... There we go. That's what I want to see. Boom, boom. Let's just move it all the way over here. keep nudging it, being like, I might need more. All right, and then equipped. Boo-dee-doo. Right, yeah. Could probably just change that to that. I'm going to need some extra room for shields that have a resistance and a damage stat. Yeah, take your time. Make sure you want it. The grog machine, looking like Coke and Monkey Island. What's the other one? Yeah. Boy, this is really expensive. It's a secret to everybody. Unless their parents gave them access to the Nintendo Power hint line. Only 89 cents a minute. How many weapons do I have total? Off the top of my head, I don't remember. I want to say it's 14 across daggers, swords, axes, spears, clubs, two-handed swords, two-handed axes, two-handed clubs. So 8 weapon categories. 14 across a lot of them. It's not quite that many. Like the two-handed ones, there's not going to be too many of. There's some that I haven't. There's a lot that I haven't added yet, but 14 times 8. 112, but there's not going to be that many. But right now, I do have 14 swords, axes, one-handed clubs. And those are all mostly finished. There's some legendary ones that I still want to put in there, like really cool secret ones. Do I replace the entire character sprite for each weapon stance? Yes. There's an attack, not an attack set, but an attack animation for each type of attack. So there's one-handed thrust, and those are usually spears, daggers, and some swords have that attack animation. There's one-handed swing, like overhand swing, and that's like clubs and axes. Some swords as well. There's also like a backhand, and that's mostly for slashing swords, like falchions and stuff like that, and curved, like single-edged weapons. I'm gonna apply that to some dagger class weapons as well. And what else is there? There's shields also have a parry, like a bash and a parry. It doubles as a bash and a parry. And will deal damage if the shield has a spike or a series of, lethal projections on it. And then there's a two-handed overhand swing, which is for the two-handed swords, axes, and two-handed clubs. It's a lot of work, and it's also there's also a left-facing version of all of them. So here I'll show you. So the character does have a dominant hand, and you can tell when he's facing left or right, which doesn't really make a mechanical difference, but visually it's just an extra detail that I threw in there. Yep, bay. It's all in there. It's all working. And a block animation, like you can hold up your shield, you can walk forwards, backwards, jump in the air. Like all these attack animations have a standing version, a jumping version, a transition from air to landing version. So if you're like striking in midair and you hit the ground, the animation will pick up. It'll switch sprites, but it'll still be on the same frame for the landing. Same thing with blocking too. Like you can block in the air, duck and block, land and be blocking. There's a lot of there's a lot of damn frames for the character, but they're all done. So, how many frames per animation in general? For a weapon strike, there's like 9. For a two-handed, there's 14. I wanted to kind of communicate the weight of a two-handed strike a little more. But in general, there's like 9 to 10 for the one-handed animation attacks. And they vary in speed, like the playback speed for what weapon it is. Like axes and clubs are a little slower than swords, and daggers are quick. Spears, one-handed thrusting spears are a little slower because they have like hit bonuses and stuff. Like you can, pierce through multiple guys. So let's see. Where's attack? And he has an unarmed strike as well. And they're attack animations for when you're like wall jumping, or not wall jumping, but when you're sliding down a wall. So yeah, we got stand punch right, duck punch right, air punch right, landing punch right, wall punch right when you're like stuck to a wall, and climbing too. Like you can climb ladders and stuff, and you can like attack while you're on the ladder. And then double all that stuff. So for left facing, and your shield will reflect too, like your equipment. Here, let me show you. Let's just play the game. So there's a lot of animations in there, and there's and then when you take into consideration the armor, the different armor that you can equip, those all have to. They're essentially like another set of player animations. And right now in the game there are 9 armor sets, and they're all pretty similar. Like some of them are like the same sort of version but with a helmet, the same sort of version like with or without like shoulder pads. Or I will show you the world. Okay, so see, he's left-handed, so kind of a subtle nod to Link. So you see his shield is on his right hand there, and then you swap over, it's on his left now, and he will attack using his, or the shield always, in other words, the shield always stays on his right hand, depending on where you're facing, or it reflects that when you turn around. And then you swing, he's got his left hand swinging. Still left. Shield uses his right hand. Shield uses his right hand facing left. So different attack sets. So like there's the attack transitioning into the landing from air. Standing, air, duck, landing. Wait, so why did I opt for total sprite replacement over having separate weapon sprites? I'm not sure I understand. Separate weapon sprites. I mean, the nice thing is that the weapon is all the same. I just change its coordinates based on what attack animation you're doing. But yeah, I don't know what so like I don't know if this answers if I replace the whole sprite. And yeah, I do. Like he's got different sprites for all of his attack animations. Like he's divided up into like hundreds of different sprites. And the sprite index changes. It's like, you know, this is the, you know, standing punch right sprite, you know, and it's got 9 sub images. The weapon does, yeah, the weapon draws as a separate sprite. So like weapons over here. Let's see, let's show swords. Swinging swords. Broken sword. So broken sword only has, see right there, that is the animation for broken sword. Slow it down so you can see. See, it's got like, there it is, like back behind his head, back further, and now he's starting to swing. And it completes the swing there. And what I'm doing is I'm telling the player object, are you standing? Okay, if you're standing, on frame 0, put the weapon sprite here in relation to the character. On frame 1, you know, nudge it, you know, X and Y here. Frame 2, nudge it X and Y here. Like, so it's almost like bone animating, you know, like using spine or something, but I'm doing it manually because I don't own spine. Like if I had spine, I could probably just visually like here's a good, let's open, there's the player attacking, swing, Kel attack, swing. Oh, he doesn't actually have his weapon in there though, but so maybe that's a bad example. Pause that. But anyway, like, you know, here would be an assigned frame for like the sword or whatever. Let's just draw a really shitty sword. So I'm just kind of updating, you know, what frame the sword is going to use and where it's going to be drawn in relation to the character sprite. Gale Force. Yeah, graphic scale. I'm sure you get it now, but that's how I'm handling animation, and then the actual attack box or the bounding box for it is the information is in the actual sprite. So it's the full, you know, rectangle of the image. Oops, what is this? Oh, that's the pick. That's why it looks weird. That's the pickup. This is the attack animation. So you can see there the mask is following the thing. I don't know why it's got like weirdness around it. Huh. Maybe it's an alpha issue or something. But it's got precise collision checking, so it's always where the sword is, you know, accurately calculated against collisions with enemies and stuff. No, I don't want to. I almost. Whoops. Add that sword in the game. And it draws. Yeah, and sometimes, like, depending on what direction you're facing, like the character's facing, I will change the depth, the draw depth, or the layer that the weapon is drawing on, like if it's behind him, you know. But each weapon attack sprite, there's only one of them, but there are multiple states that the player can be in, and the coordinates, the relative coordinates of the weapon object are updated each frame. What I really like about thrusting weapons is there's only one image. So like for the hunting spear, this is it. This is all there is. It's just this one, because he's just going, you know, he's attacking along one plane, so it's the image doesn't need to change at all. So all I do is I just move it around. Same thing with, like, you know, thrusting daggers and thrusting swords and stuff. So those are my those are my favorite kind of weapons to put in the game, because I don't have to animate them. I just draw one frame and then that's it. And what the game does is it I have an item list. Scripts. Items, weapons. So each item, this is all the information per weapon. So this chunk right here is the broken sword information. And they have an attack type, which is, where is it? Weapon type swing. So when the player attacks with the broken sword, it gets this information for the attack object, and it's like, okay, we know it's a swing type, and that's a one-handed swing. So it knows where to draw the weapon in relation to the player's fist, in other words. I guess I'm not. I am, because the player can have effects on him, and it looks better when the effect is not on the armor. So, like, the player object always has, like, it's like 4 or 5 layers. It has the stuff that he's equipped with, so you'll see, like, the sword, you know, on his belt or whatever, or like an axe on his back, or like throwing knives and throwing axes and stuff. And then the player layer will be drawn, so like the naked, it's like a paper doll kind of. And the player, like, if you ate some fireweed or whatever, he turns red. And then the armor is drawn over him, and it just looks normal. And it just looked like a cool effect, so I was like, yeah, I'll just draw the armor over the player object. So the armor looks like, you know, here's the worm scale. Let's do walk. So this is what the armor looks like. You know, there's no player under there. It's just like a ghostly suit of armor without the actual guy wearing it. So the player object has a few layers that it's drawing. And then all the armor does is it just, you know, I tell the player object to draw the same image index or same frame that the naked player sprite is currently on. Next game, just kill everything with mine, right? I did a complete character mapping for the items. An invisible armor, and all the enemies are like a floating ball thing. So they don't have walk animation or an idol or a... They are an idol. The whole thing is an idol, and then they just like shoot missiles or something out of them. That's going to be the next game. Telepath. Yeah, right? Yeah, see? And it'll all be drawn programmatically, so you don't have to animate anything. Floating balls, just different colors. Yeah. But anyway, that's the... That is essentially the main, the main loop of the game there, and how it's handled, and what you see, and how it's being drawn. It's always interesting to talk about that stuff and try to explain it, because I wind up kind of understanding it a little better. With wheeled robots, floating ghosts, and mermaids. Yeah, see? Yeah. That game Crashlands, that's what they did too. They were like, we're going to make all the enemies like, if they have feet, it'll be like one giant foot or something. And most of the bosses are like these big floating kind of head things that shoot lasers and, and that's why. So they don't have to draw, frickin', 12 frames of animation or 20 frames of animation for each state. Walking, standing, getting hurt. A typical enemy in Savage has, how many states? They've got a patrol state. So like a walking state, an idle, an attack of some kind. Some of them have multiple different attacks. Like they can have a standing attack, a ducking attack. Like they can jump and like strike. But anyway, basic guy has patrol, idle, attack, an air state, like air, going up and then coming down again. A stun. They need a stun animation. One vanilla flavored death. One where they get mutilated in some way, and then an alternate death to make it visually more appealing. To kill bad guys. So a basic enemy, I'm pretty sure has those. And then some of them have shields, so they'll have a block. Some of them have a standing block, a ducking block, an overhead block, since 11. Some of them will have like a kind of a skirmish state where they're kind of like strafing back and forth, so they're not just patrolling, like walking. They look like they're, in a fighting stance, but they can move around. So they get pretty complicated later on, which is also why it's kind of nice to not do humanoids and to do weirder stuff, because it's like, I don't know, I've never seen that before in real life, so yeah, sure, whatever it's doing is probably fine. My favorite though are airborne enemies, because they'll usually just have like an idle where they're just kind of flapping their wings or whatever, and then they'll have like a dive or something, and then they'll just go right back into kind of the idle. And you can move the idle around and adjust the speed, so that if they're just staying in one place in the air, they're flapping their wings. But then if they like decide to move around, they'll flap faster. So, and all you're doing is like adjusting the speed at which the animation is playing. And then usually the dive, like if they do a dive or something, it's one frame, like they're just going, sticking their head out or their beak out or their, whatever out. Anyway, sorry if that was kind of long-winded, but like I said, it's kind of interesting to talk about that stuff, because then I go, oh yeah, I guess that is how it works. Weapon specific info. I might even be able to get rid of the UIP in here and just do EQ. It's like, obviously, we'll see about this. Let's just. Okay. I mean, you know, that's partly what these streams are for, right? Is talking about this stuff. I mean, I like when people share that stuff, because, like I said, I like the process. Like I like to know like how somebody did something, because you usually find that it's like there can be like pretty different ways to tackle these problems. Like somebody might just have did it way different than you did, maybe even a more optimized, more elegant version of it, and it's like, oh, I didn't think of doing it that way. I could have saved myself 2 years. And then what I could do, I guess, is I could actually draw these numbers. Like red or green. Forgot to merge those. Oops. And I think that leaves us plenty of room for shields, because shields will sometimes have 2 different stats that you need to compare. All right, gonna take another stretch and a bio break, and I shall return. And thanks for the questions, guys. It's been fun to chat about this stuff. But I'll be right back. Go pee. Don't have to tell me twice. Okay. All right. That is starting to look close to what I want. And these, of course, will be animated. The coins. Okay. Have you brought? Ha! Nice. It's a nice touch. All right, back to Ignicero, thank you. Thanks, man. Clean this up a little bit. And then, of course, for consumables, this either won't be here at all, or it will show things like duration for timed power-ups and stuff, like the invincibility potion and the healing properties of a healing consumable. So there won't be a comparison there. This is strictly for weapons, armor, and shields. Is what that little area is going to be for. Organize my thoughts on this. Okay. Let's see here. Purchasing quantity. Else. Or that might just be another vendor mode here. Purchasing quantity 2 equals sell. 3 equals selling quantity. Buy mode. Browsing items. Let's say browsing vendor inventory. Gotta get real specific with these comments sometimes. So right now, that's all we care about. We want to get it started. I have to set up items, weapons, weapons. Actually, let's just do this. And anything else that I need to reset up there. Event user 0. Oops. Cool. That's loud. It's because it's so compressed. Okay, basics are there. I just need to draw the stupid thing now. And there are going to be different methods, of course, of drawing it. I am going to keep that stuff there. This is all stuff I took from the Forge menu system. The methods, yeah. Draw Forge menu. I'm going to repurpose this for inventory. It's very similar. Oops. Yeah, menu active is what we want to check. And vendor mode too. Vendor mode. Case 0. Buy. Browsing. Vendor inventories. Sprite. Vendor tabs. Doo-doo-dee. Yeah, a lot of this is not even relevant anymore in here. Yeah, that's for specifically for reforging and adding god powers to your stuff. No, actually, we don't need to do that. We need to do, and then I'll do some extra checks down in there for case items. Case weapons. God powers. Items, weapons. Armor. Keys. And what I will do here, if mode is less than 3. In other words, if we are only buying right now, okay. I lost my train of thought. Okay. Scripts is what I'm looking for. User interface. Inventory system. Draw inventory. Look at weapons because they're closer to what I'm trying to do here. I might just duplicate this too. Create group. Draw vendor inventories. Menu constants. Equip. Draw items menu. Draw weapon menu. Duplicate. Make it so. Draw vendor weapons. Windybeard Games, thanks for that host. Much appreciated. How's it going? Okay. I've been going through it, Snowshoe. Personal one-man army represent. Welcome, Yagicho 1. The Yagich 01. And way to represent. Hey, thanks for that. Thanks for that follow. Yag, you got it. What did you finish up? The cavalry on delay. Hey, man. I was gonna say better late than never, but maybe not in a tactical context. Chipping away at a mountain of artwork. I feel you. Are you working on a game or something else? I am doing some real kind of it feels like busy work, but it's not. But I'm doing user interface stuff, which is like, oh man. Reminds you of Raston. A lot of people bring Raston up. And I only became familiar with it because people were bringing Raston up. And I was looking at it, I'm like, yeah, that's totally, thematically and atmosphere is, they're the same kind of stuff. And then I went and played some of it, and I was like, whoa, this is like Volgar the Viking. Like, Volgar the Viking is like the first level in Volgar is like a straight up reference to Raston. Like, even the way he walks and stuff and the way he attacks and everything is like this. Yeah, it's like they wanted to make like an updated Raston game kind of. What am I looking at here? Okay, let's see. The weapon name X info weapons for vendor. Let's say 20 because it's got 20 slots. 20 slots. Mini space 14. Start X. And this is always going to be this, so we don't need to worry about checking anything up there. Get rid of that. Variables. This is going to be like a more streamlined version of the normal way that inventory is drawn. Sub X. Oh, okay. I didn't realize. Well, I mean, the first level of Volgar's like, you go and watch Rastin, it's like, it's almost the same thing. Which is, I mean, I'm not knocking on the game at all. I see it more as like a really, really cool homage and reference. Later levels. Yeah, the lizard men. Excuse me. But I totally get the ghosts and goblins thing with the like how your hit points or the amount of times you're allowed to be hit, you know, are kind of the same thing. Ghosts and goblins, like you get layers of stuff. And each time you get hit, like one of those things is taken away. Just like super ghouls and ghosts. Yeah, yeah. You used to have a Rastin arcade board. You still have the marquee. Oh, rad. Yeah, the box art for Rastin is like right up my alley, obviously. Shit. I'm sorry. My audio's like totally not mixed very well. Just put this back on. This is going to be much easier because all I have to do is just show the thing and not worry about what the dynamic properties are. So I have to kind of carve stuff out. Greater than none, and cursor subpose does not. Okay, so if we're not on the thing currently. Sprite inventory icons, global item info. And then inventory weapon is what we're looking for to get rid of. Any chance? Hey, Drake Sub-Zero, how's it going? Yeah, I will play some right now for you guys. Especially because you threw down that awesome host. Hopefully I didn't break anything. I don't think so. I'm working on some stuff that I haven't actually put any instances of in the game, so. Windy Beard Games, thanks for that follow. Much appreciated. Ask a simple somewhat question. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and start a new game. Thanks. I probably should have let the whole animation play out. In before. You can monkey around with the corpses. They can also be used as platforms, like if you toss them on spikes. Thanks, Yag. Ah, got him. 2 for. So yeah, I'll play through the opening sequence for you guys, and hopefully get to the overworld map. Some old SNES game that you can never remember the title of. It's so pixelated. Fix it! It's too pixelated. You die now! If you didn't deserve death before, you do now. Die, Argeshi filth! Not going willingly, eh? No matter. I could do this all day, dog. Knock off his spike on his helmet. Now I can... Oop! I can stun stomp him if I got good. And that's kind of an alternate beginning. There are different ways you can play through the beginning, and it will slightly affect things later on in the game. It's the hair of a man god. Whispers had come down from the west of a man who would become emperor of the Argeshi hordes. Bearing the twin marks of the serpent god on his black helm, he rode across Gosen, killing and enslaving to further his own glorious and dark ambition. They came with a frightening abruptness, a sudden storm of power, hatred, and violence, killing and burning indiscriminately. The hair of a mango. Those who survived the culling were clapped in irons and corralled to the west. Among them, Kel of Gosen, broken and bloody, gazed upon the orchestrator of his demise with the look of a vengeance-starved animal. Ah. And then you can kind of get into it with this guy, but I'm gonna, and you can skip the dialogue altogether by breaking out early. And that is essentially your checkpoint right there. Yeah, Super Eagle. By bar, I'm free. Now, to find a way out, then revenge. Okay, and I gotta level up, and I have 1 essence point to spend at a rest location. And you can put points into might, resolve, and favor, and they all do different things. And affect different weapon types and stuff. Oops. Spoilers. Bat is stuck. RIP AI. Witness, there will be a little bit, like starting a conversation with an NPC, he'll like play a little voice sequence, but the whole thing won't be. But I still have to do a lot of audio pass stuff on this. This guy gives you some clues about how to get out of here and has his own little storyline going on. As do all these NPCs stuck in the mines. Drake said, oh, sorry, dude, I think I missed it. Pixelated. Do I know how to search a text file and then search from a user set point again? I think I read it. I was like, wait, I need to think about that. I don't think I did, no. Search in a text file, just like a normal text thing. If you type Control F, it'll bring up a search field, I think is what you're asking. What's the reasoning? I personally prefer text only most of the time, or at least skippable stuff. I feel like games kind of slowed down a lot when they started adding fully voice-acted dialogue sequences. And just it fits more the visual theme of this game, how it's very low fidelity. It's a saved file. What do you mean? If you're talking about just a normal notepad thing, just hit Control F and you can search. But Witness, I feel like it just suits the sort of visual scope of this game to have very limited voiced samples. Why even voice at all? For flavor. Like, I would like to have a little something, you know, like running into an NPC for the first time or something. You know, they'd say something like, "Yes, barbarian." Or meeting a boss, you know, like when the fight actually starts after like they do their little introduction or something, like, "I will crush you," or something like that. Personal creative choice is what it boils down to. And a little bit of nostalgia as well. Like I remember playing games that like on PlayStation or even Super Nintendo that had little instances of like dialogue snippets that kind of gave you a feel for how the character sounds. So you can make a imaginative decision in your head, like, this is what he probably sounds like when he's speaking his lines of dialogue as I'm reading them. Little cayenne, yeah. Little cardamom. But when there's more than one player, the search always finds their first. Drake, I'm not sure what you're talking about. It sounds like you have your own specific thing going on. I'm bypassing a lot of story here. These guys have updated things that they'll talk about based on what you're doing in relation to their own personal goals and stuff. In particular, that dude I was talking to before had some things in mind specifically for this little mini boss encounter here. Hey, nope. Sorry, Drake. For not being able to help you. But it sounds like you have your own specific thing you're working on. Windybeard, thanks for the host and the follow, and for checking the game out. Double search. Like you're trying to write a program that will find like keywords in a I mean, you could look like on YouTube, and people have done lots of extensive string functions. Like there's stuff on there for working with strings that people have made. But wait, what I think you're trying to do is a very complex, there's a lot of moving parts to it, and I don't know like what you're using it for or anything like that. All right, so that's essentially the beginning of the game. And then you wind up on this overworld map, and you can run into enemy encounters and everything, and the specific biome that you're in will spawn, appropriate monster. These guys aren't supposed to be here, but I just have them in there for testing's sake at the moment. Sand crawlers. A Hylian? I don't know what Hylian is. Oh, there's a guy. Oh, he's stuck now forever. Hey, he's still pulling off trick shots, though. Okay, so you have a collection of keys that are not like scenario specific, and they're consumables essentially. Like gold keys will open special chests, and iron keys will open like mundane chests. You might find like meat in them or materials. And then you have like story-specific keys. Where it's like one door in the game can be opened by that one key. But anyway, that's the gist of the game. And right now I'm editing a vendor user interface stuff. Oh man. An open world style of storytelling. I hesitate to use that term anymore. Because of Hey Scuffo, how's it going? I mean, what's sort of popularized, or there are conventions now that are related specifically to that phrase or that term, open world. I mean, you can sequence break and you can skip lots of stuff in Savage. At least I'm planning on allowing sequence breaking and stuff. Like the critical path is very light on story. Scoofo, thanks for that follow. Yeah, Warbird or Zelda 2. I mean, I also hesitate to use the word Metroidvania because, people think of Metroidvania, they think of one giant, seamless 2D map, right? It's like Metroidvania in chunks. Like there are areas in Savage that are like smaller Metroidvanias in their own like self-contained kind of way, and then the world map is essentially like it's almost like a glorified level select, you know? Like instead of the Mega Man level select screen in Savage, you have the open world map, and certain areas are gated until you find a specific key item, you know? Like for example, the ship travel in Savage, like you can access the ocean and you can like ride around on a ship. But first you need to get to a specific harbor and find a certain item in order to get your own ship. But I mean, I would call it a Zelda 2-like, I guess. But that's such a weird, like, you know? The only games I can think of that kind of operate this way are Zelda 2, Gargoyle's Quest, and Demon's Crest. Man versus game. Castlevania 2 to... I mean, where that term initially came from was... Once Castlevania Symphony of the Night came out, and that was really the first Castlevania like that. And it was like the map was essentially Metroid, right? But when people say Metroidvania, I think that what they mean is like a game that has like the item system and the RPG light elements of Symphony of the Night, and the map traversal of Super Metroid and Symphony of the Night, because Symphony of the Night took it from Metroid. So like that map that you kind of go through and, you know, uncover. Zelda 2, I mean, it has an open world, but it has choke points, right? It has areas that are like, you can't go here yet until you get the hammer. and Savage is like that, you know, that there's some play with it, but there are areas that you will not be able to get to yet until you do like a specific thing. But yeah, there are areas in Savage and sub areas. You know, it's like you have, you know, the Gosen Hills, the Gosen Highlands, the Red Steppe, and you got to do certain things to unlock the new areas. But within that, you know, say within, for example, the Gosen Hills, there's, you know, the Ash Sentry, the Rockbiter Hollow, the, you know, Cairns of Magdra, the prison that you start in, and a village, and a couple little other like caves and side areas and stuff. But you can't go anywhere, wherever you want, like right from the beginning. But Savage has the RPG light elements of like Symphony of the Night, and sub areas that work like, you know, Super Metroid kind of. Especially when I get the map system in there and working. I don't want to put the map system in there yet until all the areas are locked in and final. But it's essentially almost like a Zelda or something, where it's like, have you been to this room? Okay, now there's a little blue marker on your map, like a blue square, that shows that you explored that room, or that you've at least visited it. Symphony was, yeah, I mean, well, when did Super Metroid came out? It came out like 91 or 92. And Symphony was at least 96, maybe 97. Yeah. But you know that term is so like loaded anymore, loaded with perception anymore that but where the Metroidvania term came about was Symphony of the Night and Super Metroid. Like once Symphony of the Night came out, then people were like, "Hey, it has shields and armor and swords and weapons and then the map is like Metroid, so it's a Metroidvania." Which roguelike is a whole other fucking. I think Metroidvania is a much more appropriate descriptor for some games, like that carry that tag, you know, than roguelike is for. I mean, Metroidvania is pretty damn easy to visualize, right? You got your Metroid map, and you've got like some advancement system, like character advancement system, like Symphony of the Night or something. You know, you got weapons and swords and shields and armor and healing items and all that. Which Metroid was very much like, you know, I've got to find the ice beam, or there's a better suit somewhere that I can find that gives me more energy, makes me take less damage. Where in Symphony of the Night, you know, it's way more like a dungeon crawler or something, where you've got the different armor sets and the different shields and swords and magic spells and, you know, crap like that. And you can level up, you know, you get experience points and level up, and so I think that's what people originally considered to be a true Metroidvania. Was it has RPG light dungeon crawling stuff, and then Metroid traversal systems, where it's like, oh, I can go everywhere, or I can see everywhere I can get to, but I might not be able to get up to that zone until I get a double jump or something, you know. Or a wall jump or whatever. You know, grapple beam in Metroid, bat form in Symphony of the Night. That's what a Metroidvania, I think, is supposed to be. It's more about the traversal system than it is about any like open worldness or whatever. But it's so, you know, terms like that wallow in perception so much. Like, everybody thinks about them a different way. So it's... but I think Metroidvania is a fine term for clarification's sake. You know, it's like, I made a platformer, and then another guy could be like, I made a Metroidvania. You kind of understand that there's more to the Metroidvania guy. You know, like, oh, okay, so I'm thinking that it has some sort of seamless map that I need to get a double jump in or something, you know. Are there other games genres that are quite different from which I want to add roguelike seemed like a shit pile term until you read the Rogue history book. Reframed it for you. Yeah, see, it's all like people go into these discussions not defining the terms first, which we might be talking about different things, right? Which is where the perception thing comes in. It's like, how do you perceive a Metroidvania? Well, I do it this way, and this is why I think this game is a Metroidvania. Another person could be perceiving it a completely different way and be like, no, it's not a Metroidvania. But those two people haven't agreed on a baseline, you know, definition for anything. So they're not going to get anywhere, really. No, I think I understood you, Witness. It just took. I wanted to get to Warbird first, and then. Not really. Witness. I think the game's at least system-wise, it's like done. You know, it just needs content now, and a couple other things like this vendor thing and the eventual map system put in there and working. But then I just need to finish like enemies and some level design and I make it sound like just fucking easy, and finish up some NPC dialogue stuff and storyline sequence junk. What are you doing, kitty? He kung fu'd my glasses off of my face. But I think as far as inspiration and theme and tone, Witness, it's there. Like the mood and the theme and the it's working mechanically. You know, the engine is running, so to speak. After that book, you really started to see so many games differently, and you realized roguelikes are kind of blowing up more than you realized. You like the replay. That's the key, right? The replayability thing. Bitch and apt, yeah. And you can, I mean, depending on how you're doing it and what kind of game it is. So I think top-downs are like perfect for it. You know, you only need to worry about one plane. You don't need to worry about like gravity or like getting the player stuck in an untraversable situation, which is why Spelunky works, right? Because you got ropes and you got bombs and you can, you know, change the geometry of the level if you get stuck. So you're never like 100% stuck in something like Spelunky, but or you go about it where you prefab the rooms and you throw all the rooms in a bag and you shake them up and then you sequence them randomly. But like a game like Dark Souls, you know, like that game is infinitely replayable to me because of the build variety and you know, things. It's never random. Anything about that game is never random, but it's almost like a player elective randomness where they can be like, I am gonna do a wizard or something, or I'm gonna do a wizard that uses broadswords, or I'm gonna be a sneaky ninja guy that uses a bow and arrow but also knows pyromancy. But with each playthrough of Dark Souls, even more so Dark Souls 2, like, you know, at the very least, monster stats change, and you know the item find rate increases, and you might find stuff that you didn't before because of the improved item find rate. And in Dark Souls 2, you get that cool aspect of harder versions of enemies showing up in the game that weren't in the, you know, your initial playthrough. And you will not be able to get, you know, all the stuff in one playthrough either. Yeah, he does chunks. He designs them in chunks. But the original Spelunky, I believe, had, you know, randomized block placement and stuff as well. Between like the seams of the chunks. And he also designed them top to bottom, so you were always going down, so you didn't have to worry about, you know, falling too far and running out of ropes or something, where you couldn't be like, now I'm stuck and I can't get back up. Yeah, I have it too, and it was like, oh, cool. But yeah, he'd have just a normal like notepad, like text file, and he'd arrange the characters in a grid, and it was like, you know, X's were like solids or something, and O's were open space. and different characters meant like a different type of tile. Yeah, very neat and elegant. Okay. Cat is hungry. I'm getting hungry too, so I'm gonna go get some food and feed him, and then I'll get back to this vendor stuff. But for now, that's gonna do it for me. Thanks everybody for watching and hanging out. Awesome discussions. It's always fun to talk about this stuff, especially working like knee deep in like this nonsense. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Hey, Deed Hero, hi, bye. But thanks for stopping by, dude. And everybody else, take care. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.